We have three short fairy tales for you tonight. They're about equal in length. And we have about 35 super excited actors who've been working for several months for these plays, and some awesome stage managers I'll be excited to introduce them to you at the end. But first I'd like to introduce one of our stage managers, Bree Walker, to introduce our first play.
Hello. The first play is going to be Happily Never After, and it's about a marriage counseling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for being here with us today. I feel it is much better if we can get the community to work together on these projects. We learn from each other. As you undoubtedly know, I wrote most of the stories you grew up with. Red Riding Hood, Rumpelstiltskin, Chicken Little. I'm best known for my romances. Some people call me Grimm or Anderson or Perrault. Small matter. What is significant is that thanks to me, Cinderella found her royal mate, Sleeping Beauty her life's companion, and that jolly frog at the bottom of the well found love and happiness in a nearby place. The list of my love matches is endless. Snow White and her prince, Beauty and the Beast, the louse and the flea. However, from time to time in storybook land, things do go a bit sour. Human nature, I've always been an optimist and ended my adventures by writing, and they lived happily ever after. Truth of the matter is, no one ever took the trouble to inquire how those marriages really worked out. That is why, every now and again, I must perform the duties of a marriage counselor. If you'll follow me, please.
Good morning, counselor.
Morning, Miss Scribe. What's on the agenda?
Snow White had to cancel at the last minute.
Oh?
Couldn't take her hairdresser appointment. She's dyeing her hair blonde, you know? Says they have more fun.
I didn't know, and I didn't approve. Did she say how she and her prince were getting on?
Sounded rather cynical.
How so?
Said she believed in dreams until she married one.
The prince was always something of a talker. That could be the problem. Once a man learns to listen, he and his wife can remain on speaking terms indefinitely. Schedule them both for a future date.
Yes, counselor.
Who's first?
Cinderella's husband.
Prince Charming. What could be the problem there?
He's been waiting almost an hour.
Send him in, send him in.
You may come in now, Prince.
Good to see you again, Charming.
I'm not feeling charming.
Please, sit. Tell me, what's troubling you?
Well,
Come, we're here to help.
okay, I'll come directly to the point. I don't feel like I'm suited to Cinderella.
What makes you say that?
You can take Cinderella out of the kitchen, but you can't take the kitchen out of Cinderella.
I'm not following.
I'm a business-like fellow, concerned with worldly affairs, investments, things like that.
Yes.
I need a wife who's clever, intelligent, sensible. Cinderella doesn't need a modern prince like me. She's something from the past. I can't get her away from those cinders. She actually likes the fireplace.
Dear.
Why, she's even turned that wonderful glass slipper into a planter.
A planter?
Yeah, she has a philodendron growing. Before I was married, I used to think that being lonesome was a man's worst fate.
Things are that bad?
I'll show you. Cinderella, what are you doing here in this cookery?
I like it here. It's humble.
You need to get out of humble and into haughty. How do you think it looks to our subjects having the princess dressed in rags? By choice.
I'm a simple person, but sincere.
Yuck.
Cinderella, this dress needs a little ribbon at the neckline. See to it, will you?
Of course, sister dear.
My wife does not take in sewing.
Since when?
As ruler of this kingdom, I forbid it.
Working for others makes her happy. She has a right to be happy. Who are you to think otherwise?
Her husband?
Oh, that?
What are you doing living here anyway? Why don't you live in your own cottage?
And we can live rent-free with this pinhead?
Cinderella, see what you can do with these slippers. I'll do my humbly best.
My wife does not brush other people's slippers.
Since when?
This has got to stop.
Why?
There are affairs at stake that we must attend to. Pardons, conferences, taxes.
Cinderella has no interest in that sort of rubbish.
I keep telling you she's happy the way she is.
But I'm not.
Listen to him. Men.
Never satisfied.
All husbands are like, they just have different faces so you can tell them apart.
This is far more serious than I thought.
Cinderella, I'm losing my patience.
And I have a feeling he'd rather live Cinderella.
What about the ball this Saturday?
All those people, all that rich food, you go by yourself. I'll stay here and talk with the mice.
Yuck.
I heard that last remark, Cinderella. Hello, cruel stepmother. Is there any humble service I may perform for you?
You're so sweet. You have been giving the whole castle's diabetes.
Would you like to watch me sweep out the fireplace?
Heavens no, and I don't think you're for
What's the use?
I sympathize with your highness.
I can't waste any more time here. The royal accountants await.
I'm making stale bread and milk for dinner.
Yeah. It's always like that. I'm the laughing stock of the countryside. A married man never knows when he's well off because he never is.
There, Tom. There, Tom. I mean, Charm. I'll think of something. Trust me. Wait outside, please. Miss Scribe, show the poor man out.
Imagine being married to a woman who talks to mice and puts the training wheels on pumpkins.
Who's next?
Sleeping Beauty's husband, Princeling.
Send him in.
I'm in.
I don't see why you couldn't wait outside with the others.
Too impatient.
Obviously. Sit down, won't you?
I'm just right.
Let me see. Sleeping Beauty. Cinderella, Snow White. Ah, here we are. Sleeping Beauty. And they lived happily ever after. That's what I wrote.
Surprise, surprise. It's always with you, right?
You're bitter about something.
Remember how I had to cut my way through the thorny forest?
Naturally.
I was covered from head to toe in band-aids for weeks.
Love makes some men reckless.
How I had to chop the thick foliage around the castle.
I recall.
I sprained my wrist.
I didn't know.
And after I went through all that, there she was, Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping.
That's the trouble. I like to move. I like to go out in the world. I like to go to fine restaurants.
Aha, I'm beginning to understand. You don't like your wife's cooking. This is routine case. If you don't like your wife's cooking, my advice to you is to keep your mouth shut.
My wife has given me the best years of her life, but the worst of mine.
What'd she do with herself all day?
Naps.
She what?
She naps. They don't call her Sleeping Beauty for nothing.
But with your kiss, you saved her from everlasting sleep.
That was before the happily ever after part.
We can't all pick Winnie Horace.
Are you calling my wife a horse?
Figure of speech.
I don't know much about speech. He doesn't like to talk.
How do you communicate?
Infrequently. I've had to take a class on the church and snore. Watch. Wake up, Beauty. Rise and shine. What are you doing asleep in the middle of the morning? You slept all night.
I'm resting up for my afternoon nap.
But we're going horseback riding.
Tomorrow, maybe.
Maybe.
All depends if I'm rested enough. You should take a nap.
And you should take an interest in this marriage.
I'll think about it tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, now! The royal relatives are coming for a state banquet and you've got to be there, alert and lively. Beauty? Sleeping Beauty!
How dare you wake me? You know I need my beauty sleep. Go fight a dragon or something.
But Beauty...
Is it always like that?
Always. The one time she did attend a royal banquet, she fell asleep in the appetizer.
I'll have to give this considerable thought.
A man like me doesn't need a woman who sleeps all day. I need someone spirited and shit.
You mean enchanting. Wait outside, Miss England. I mean Princeling. I'll think of something.
You'd better. Things not going so well.
I had no idea matters were in such a sorry state. Their temperaments are so different. What am I going to do?
That's what I'd like to know.
Who's she?
Your next appointment. Don't seem to recognize her. The Pond Princess.
The Palm Princess?
Don't you remember? You married her off to a frog.
A frog?
You're talking about my husband, I gather.
Ah, yes, I forgot for a moment. Please forgive me. I have so many though. You understand.
Don't see how you can forget him, nasty cold thing that he is.
You mean was. Today, thanks to the counselor, that frog is now a happy and well-adjusted prince.
If that's so, then what am I doing here?
Better let me handle this. Yes, Miss Grant. Tell the others to be patient. Palm Princess, please.
I prefer to stand.
As you wish.
The idea, the very idea, you'd ought to be ashamed.
What have I done?
You wrote us into a life, married us off, and then abandoned us.
You're being unfair. After all, we're all here to help. We learn from each other. If you tell me what's troubling you.
To begin with, it's embarrassing to marry a man who was once a frog.
These things happen. You must be mature enough to accept them.
A man can't live as a frog for years and years and just change overnight.
What is it that he does specifically that annoys you?
Croaks.
He's croaked? Pawn Princess, in a vulgar choice of word, are you informing me that your husband has passed on?
No, he croaks. Croak, croak, croak. Like a frog. Croak, croak, croak. There, see for yourself.
Oh dear, I hope he doesn't drip.
Good morning, husband. Croak. Are you in good health? Croak.
This is a case for marine biologists.
I noticed yesterday you were sitting in the garden pond. Again. Croak. You weigh much too much to sit on a lily pad. Croak. Besides, the children in the neighborhood are not accustomed to seeing their ruler playing in the stagnant puddle and catching flies. Croak. The royal carpets are soggy from your comings and goings. Kiss me, croak. I'd as soon kiss a mud turtle. And will you stop saying croak? You're not a frog any longer. You're just a husband. Croak. Oh, go outside and play in the mud. Want a gold medal?
of a curse is broken by a kiss, the future is usually bright.
Right? My future has been mossy green, and I don't like it. You can see for yourself, the prince and I are completely incompatible. I like fine restaurants. I enjoy horseback riding. I delight in official functions.
Interesting that you should say that. You've given me an idea.
Having a husband who insists on revering to his frog ways is unnerving and impractical for a level-headed woman like me.
I quite agree. Changes are called for.
Then call.
Miss Scribe,
I'm here.
would you call the others in, please?
All of them?
All. All right, everyone, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, husbands and wives. It would appear that writing Happily Ever After was a bit premature.
You're telling me.
You can say that again.
Some mate you gave
You want to turn your pen.
You're a scandal.
Please, nothing will be solved by raw emotion. I assume you all wish to remain married?
That's the whole point of writing a fairy tale.
To the wives, I would say, being a bride is a hit or miss proposition.
If she doesn't make a hit, she'll remain a miss.
To the men, I would say, no man expects his wife to be perfect.
No matter what she says.
The solution is simple.
What are you going to do?
Some minor editing. I'll give Miss Scribe some new calculations and run everything through the computer.
Sensible idea.
Who marries who?
That's whom.
Who cares? Who gets what?
From what I've heard today, it's perfectly logical. Sleeping Beauty wants to sleep and sleep and sleep. Correct?
There's your answer.
And all the Frog Prince wants to do is sit and croak.
Endlessly.
Take note, Miss Scribe. In the new editions, the Frog Prince will marry Sleeping Beauty. She can nap and he can croak.
One nap, one croak.
What about me?
You're right. Cinderella's not for you. I'm afraid she's a loser.
The loser is humble and sincere.
Instead of Cinderella, you'll be wed to your stepmother-in-law.
Wonderful idea.
She's clever, skillful, and interested in the stock market.
Don't forget me.
You and Princeling think alike, enjoy the same things. I'll write an ending here, an ending there, so you two will marry.
What about Cinderella?
She's left with no one.
She has her humility. No husband can compete with that. Got it all?
I have.
Transcribe everything on tape. Run it through the computer.
At once.
Can we watch?
If Mother's not married to the prince, that means we have titles too.
All right, everyone, rearrange your lives. We owe it all to modern technology and crisis intervention. Out, out. New lives await you. And there we have it. A slight oversight regarding the end of the stories has been corrected. The cruel stepmother and Prince Charming, the Frog Prince and Sleeping Beauty, and the Pawn Prince and Princeling lived happily ever after. What's that? Speak a little louder, please. You want to see how things worked out? But I just told you. You don't believe me. You want to be shown? Yeah. Very well. We shall see that happiness and bliss reigns in each and every kingdom once again. If you'll follow me, please.
Cinderella, there's a stain on my favorite tie. Can you get it out?
I'll try, Your Majesty. Charming, what are you doing in here?
There was a stain on my favorite tie.
I'll not have you in here talking to servants. You're an autocrat, not a democrat.
But I only thought...
That's the trouble with you, Charming. You think too much. You're not going to wear this horrid thing.
But it's my favorite.
You never knew how to dress, you never did. I'll pick your clothes from now on, and another thing, don't invite any of your friends to the castle. I find them boring.
But...
Why are you stammering like that? Come along, or we'll be late for the theater. I had the play changed to a musical, even if you dislike them. You have no taste in culture matters, even if you dislike... You're fortunate finding a woman like me.
Yes, dear.
Let me sweep out the pumpkin.
Ha ha ha, can't win them all. I'm certain the others have fared better.
Croak, croak, croak.
Stop that croaking, you idiot. How can I rest up for my afternoon nap if you keep me awake with your croaking?
Croak, croak, croak.
You're demented.
Croak.
Stop it, I say.
Oh my.
Lovely, lively, and enchanting creature.
Aha, at it again.
Oh, familiar.
Don't you hello dear me, you peeping Tom. You were looking at that cinder person through those binoculars.
I believe she has a royal quality.
And I'm going to give you a few royal lumps. Take that,
Ow,
that.
Miss Scribe!
I'm not afraid of a whistle.
Please, I seem to be having problems.
Never mind your problems. What about me? How do I get rid of this frog husband?
Kiss me, croak. Give me back the binoculars.
I catch you with these binoculars one more time, I'll play a nursery rhyme on your skull.
Make them stop! Make them all stop!
That's not a good idea.
Why am I married to you? You're so annoying. I can't believe you. Oh my god.
What? You hog back every single time.
And you're a loser.
Yeah.
We'll get this fixed up yet.
You are like so
I
annoying.
told you.
You're just like, you're telling me what place to go to.
We'll get this fixed
You know what?
up yet.
How did you just...
And now Prince Charming has once more found his Cinderella. Prince Link has once more awakened his Sleeping Beauty, and the frog has been transformed by a magical kiss. And they all lived happily ever after.
My darling.
My prince.
Counselor, my name is Snow White, and I would like to complain about 7 little old men who keep showing up at my palace.
Sorry, but the rewrite department is closed.
And that's how you really live happily ever after.